Have you ever tried to learn a lick and you've worked on it, you've got it down, you can play it, but the second you try to actually use it in your improvising, it kind of falls completely flat and it's suddenly not there? A similar thing can happen, if you've purchased an online video course or online tab pack, whatever, of, 25 hot licks to play over a minor blues. And you work through all of them, but you still can't actually use any of them when you're improvising. Well, you're not alone. This is something that has happened, I imagine, to most of us who are curious in, the improvising guitar space. And I just wanted to share some tips with you on how you can change that and actually make the licks your own and have them come out in your playing. Because there's nothing more frustrating than practicing this new hot lick, but anytime you go to play it, you just can't do it. So the first reason I think that a lot of people fail to get licks into their own playing, and again, I'm included in this, I've experienced this in my own life and playing as well, where you just haven't practiced it enough. When you're improvising on the guitar and when you're improvising in music in general, it's all happening way too fast for you to be able to think your way out of it. It all is almost running on just like animalistic instincts of when things should happen, how they should happen, and why they should happen. So when you're working on a lick and you're trying to make it something that's yours, it takes a lot of time. So for today's video, to kind of run you through the step-by-step process I go through whenever I'm trying to add something new to my vocabulary, I'm just going to use a simple, let's say we're in the key of A minor, that tends to be a good key for us. An A minor pentatonic lick. So let's say my lick is, let's see what comes out. If I went... Okay, so that's a simple little idea, but it's a good idea. We've heard vocabulary similar to this, I imagine, before on guitar, YouTube, and whatever it may be. So the first kind of step after you've identified the lick that you want to play, you got the tab pack, or you rewound the YouTube video and figured out what insert guitarist's name here is doing. The first kind of thing that I would do is I would want to try and understand how the lick is working. So if I look at this, I have A, then a pull off from G to E, then I play D, E, G, C. And so it ends on the minor third there. Da, 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 da. And having a really good grasp of what this lick sounds like is paramount. And so when you do that, the next step would be, okay, what intervals am I playing? I'm playing the root, the flat seventh, the fifth, the fourth, 5 flat 7, and then flat 3. And now I wouldn't think about all of these in terms of in the moment. I'm definitely not reading out every interval that I'm playing in my head when I'm improvising. But the thing that is super helpful to know, the reason this is super helpful to know is that if I know that this lick starts on my root, that gives me one place to kind of pinpoint it. And a great way to kind of get into this is to just, again, play it a ton until you literally can't play it wrong. And you keep going, so on and so forth. Again, it takes longer than you would think for it to really seep into your musicality. So then, the next step I would take is there somewhere else on the neck I can play this? And I'd encourage you, for any lick that you love and you want to work into your playing, to figure out 3 ways at least to play it. So I have one way done here. But now, what if I were to play the same notes and the same lick? This one I have to finger a little bit differently, but that was A, G, E, D, C, G. So now I'm playing it a position lower on the neck. So I have my original, my second one, and now if I take those same notes, let me find a different A to play it on. I'll get that same pitch up here on the 10th fret. Sorry, my brain was shutting down for a second there. The 10th fret of my B string, and now this lick is going to sound like this. Oh, I played a wrong note. It should have been G. And so now I have 3 places that I can play this lick. Geez, mistakes in there for free for you. Now, why stop there? We could keep going. And then finally, we would also be able to play that way up here, which is the 14th fret of the G string. So now I've figured out this lick in 5 different places. And a great way to, again, just make sure that it really is part of your vocabulary is to run through all of them back to back and see if you can do it without making a mistake. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, almost. There. There we go. So there's that lick in all of those places. So again, one of the key things that actually figuring this out in the whole range of the instrument will do for you, hopefully, is it lets you kind of be prepared for them, because where licks and plugging them in, to me at least, kind of falls apart most of the time is when, you know, say I have a backing track going, which let me bring out my friend the looper. And let's say just a typical kind of A minor blues thing is happening. So let's say so if I was playing over that, if I have to jump to one of these positions, it might feel a little bit awkward and a little bit stunted. So again, let me just say I only learned it here. And that's where my lick was. But let's say then that was a nice one, it fit in there. But if I have to make a big jump and I'm not prepared for it, like say for example, and sorry, I got a new amp modeler, the looper's slightly different, I'm still learning how those switches work. But so if I was way up here, and then I hear in my head that and I want to get to it. It's really far away if I'm jumping from way up here. So being able to play it all over the neck and be able to grab it whenever your ear is kind of hearing, oh, it'd be a good time for that lick. That is the biggest, I think, and most common failing point for people, is that they only learn the lick in one particular spot, in one particular position. And on the guitar, you can always play the same lick in at least 3, but probably 5 or even more positions, right? So over that same backing track, if I make it play, which is this button, no, this button, there we go. I could go do it again here. I can also go or so now wherever I am playing over this little shuffle, that I actually kind of screwed up the lick, but it had the same vibe. Then it's awesome, right? So you can do it, wrong switch again. You can do them all over the neck after you've kind of learned them. And again, in the process of figuring out all of these different fingerings and these different possibilities for whatever lick you're working on, you're also training your ears what it sounds like to play it. You're training your fingers what it feels like to play it. And you're basically, if you do it in 5 different positions, you're quintupling your chances of it being able to come out in your improvising. So one of the biggest kind of fallbacks I see when people try to learn licks and they get frustrated because they're not going into their playing is because they're taking this approach of just, getting it to the point where they can use it and then expecting to use it instantly, when music really operates a lot of the time like a language. And I don't know if any of you out there have learned a second language or have tried to learn a second language, but it is incredibly difficult to express yourself fluently in a second language, and it takes many more repetitions and much more practice than you would think. Even if you understand the words you're saying, just like even if you understand the lick that you're playing, if you haven't put in the hard miles with it, it's not going to come out. So by learning it all up the neck, you're forcing yourself to practice it more, which is good. You're also drilling it into your ears and your fingers so you know what it sounds like, and then it also helps you be able to kind of communicate that and express it in time. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out more than you could know. If you want to support me in the channel here, you can subscribe to my Patreon, which is also linked down in the description below. It's $5 a month for the basic tier, and you get early access to videos, behind the scenes sneak peeks and stuff that I'm working on that I don't share anywhere else. You get access to the PDF files for documents that I share in my videos, and you also get to be the first to know about cool things coming up. So I'd love to see you over there. Another great way to support me in the channel here is to purchase either my video course or my ebook, which are both linked down in the description as well. It's a great way to support the channel and again get some great in-depth educational content from me that's a little bit more in-depth than I can go into in a 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I've got new videos coming out every single week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one, and until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.